Hi, I'm Slavik with iDrinkCoffee.com. Today I'm presenting the Slayer EP Commercial Espresso Machine. The EP is Slayer's introductory level machine, although it's hard to call this an introductory level machine because it's designed for high volume. It can keep up in even the busiest cafes. To demonstrate the EP, I'm going to go over its features and I'm going to make several sets of drinks to show you this machine in action to help you make a choice whether this could be the right machine for your cafe. So how this machine differs from the LP, which is just one step above it, is that this machine doesn't have the paddles, which we're used to seeing on Slayer machines. Instead, it has buttons for the volumetric control. So you have two buttons, and those can be programmed to deliver the volume of shot that you would like. The machine only has the single heads-up display, which I actually think is quite attractive. It looks really cool, and it's intuitive and very easy to use as well. I'll go over some of the functions inside the heads-up display a little later. The hot water valve, which is right here on the left side of the machine, this is programmable using time. So I can program a dose of hot water. So if you have a particular size of cup, you program that, and that's done in time. So for example, I will put 5 or 6 seconds or whatever, and then I press this button and it will deliver hot water into my cup. And that water is actually mixed. It's water from the steam boiler, but it's mixed with cold water, so it's not scorching hot. It's perfect for an Americano. On the left and right hand side of the machine, we have the steam wands. And one thing that's really cool about the steam is that it has a valve that's controlled using a solenoid valve. A lot of machines have mechanical valves that need to be rebuilt and need to be serviced. This one does not. You push this lever to the down position and you get instant steam, and very, very powerful steam. And then of course I move that to the up position to turn it off. This is a 2-group machine. The Slayer steam is also available in 3 groups. Underneath the hood, each group has its own boiler. So this is a multi-boiler machine. We can control the brew temperature in each group independently because it does have its own boiler. Those boilers are 1.7 liters in volume. And on a 2-group machine, the steam boiler is an ample 7.4 liters, which will give you steam for days. You can really deal with peak periods, making lots of milk-based drinks and Americanos one after another. So let me show you some of the programming options on the Slayer Steam EP. What we see here is the heads-up display, and we're presented with 3 different numbers, Group 1, Group 2. Those numbers underneath there are the time of the previous shot, 26.7 seconds on Group 1, 2.4, I just probably pressed the button on and off. And the third number is the steam pressure. That's the pressure inside the steam boiler. It's currently set at 1.4. You can set it up to 1.5, but that really is a lot of steam power. All of the variables on the machine are controlled by entering the menu, and you do that by pressing this button twice. And there's quite a few options here, and I'm not going to go over every single one, but I will certainly go over one of the most important ones, and that's setting your brew volume. That's basically programming your doses. So to go in that, we press the button once again, and then all 4 of the programmable buttons light up, and we can program each one individually. So I'm going to press this button here, which is the first button on the left group, and I see brew volume. I have it to 290. This number represents cycles of the flow meter. So it's not an actual measure of volume. You just kind of have to figure out how it corresponds to your coffee. You can program this either by turning the dial and changing the amount of cycles, or you can actually put some coffee into the group and press this button again, allow it to extract, and once it's done, press the button a 3rd time and it will save it for next time. So there's 2 ways of programming the volume and adjusting it. I'm not going to change it right now because I do have this dialed in for my grinder and my coffee. Another cool feature is if you've programmed your group where you like it, you can change the programming to all of the group. Of course, this is only a 2-group machine, so it'd copy it over to Group 2. But if I had a 3-group machine, I can do that as well. I'm just going to say no for that for the time being and leave it where it's at. So after we've set our volume, another cool feature that the Slayer Steam EP has is a pre-wet function. So I'm just going to go to that right here, and we can program, again, each one of these buttons to have a pre-infusion cycle. And the way that works is the pump basically comes on for anywhere between 0 to 4 seconds to wet the puck, allow it to expand. Then it will hold for a programmed amount of time. I have it set to 4 seconds here. So I have my pre-wet, 3 seconds, stop, wait for 4 seconds, and then begin the extraction. And you can experiment with this to really try to get the most out of your coffee, so it does have that cool pre-infusion feature. In between the brew volume and the pre-wet function, we have the brew group temperature. And this is where you set the temperature for each boiler, each of your coffee boilers. Starting with the first group, which is on the left, it's currently set at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm actually going to lower it a little bit because I have a bit of a darker roast, it's a medium dark, so I like a slightly lower temperature with that. So I'm going to change it to 196.5, and then I just press enter. And then again, I get the option to whether I want to copy it to all the groups or not. I'm going to select no. I'll leave my second group at a temperature of 200. If I had a different blend, for example, a lighter roast where you may want a higher temperature, of course you can do that. Now, I'm just going to mention that I did change the temperature down 3.5 degrees. It will take a little bit of time before the machine stabilizes at that new temperature. The machine has no active way of cooling the water inside the group. I mean, you can run some water through it to get it to hurry up, but it does take a little bit of while for it to reach temperature stability at the new temperature. The next feature is one that I already mentioned. That's the hot water program dose. I have mine set right now at 8 seconds. That's set up to 20 seconds for how much water is delivered by pressing that hot water button. Next option in the menu is the steam boiler pressure, which I've also discussed already. I have it set to 1.4 bars. It goes up to 1.5, or it can be adjusted at a lower pressure. I don't suggest going any lower than 0.8 or 0.9 because you're going to have a wet steam. You're not going to have enough power. This is a multi-boiler machine, so there's no reason not to have more pressure. The next option is the display off, and this is just a power savings function. You can set how much time you want to elapse if the machine is not being used for this display to turn off. The default, it's set at 15 minutes. The next option is to reset the counters. The machine does have counters of how many shots have gone through it. This is where you would reset that if you want to keep track of your shots. And the next feature is a bit of a neat one. If you have a bit of a down period, you can actually control the heating elements of each group. So I have all heating elements on right now. Group 1, Group 2, and of course the steam boiler. However, if I wanted to, if I'm a bit slow, if I wanted to turn off Group 1 or Group 2, I can do that here. Or I can turn off my steam boiler if I'm not going to be steaming anything. Again, you do have those options here in this menu. The next option is quite self-explanatory. This is where we change between Celsius and Fahrenheit. This machine is shipped default because it's an American-made machine in Fahrenheit. But if you're more comfortable with Celsius like I am, you would change that to Celsius, which I'm going to do right now. Next option is the lifetime count. You can see this machine is very new. It's only made 68 shots on the first group, and the second group's only made 31 shots, but it does keep track of that. Also the H2O, which is the hot water, gives you an idea of basically how much use you're getting out of the machine. Next option is to set the date and time. Of course, that's very self-explanatory. The next two options are actually quite cool, and what it is a power savings mode. So the first option is time for power save to begin. So let's say you're open from or until 6 p.m. You can set it at 6 p.m. to go into power savings mode. So that way the machine, it's not on all night, it's not wasting all that energy to keep the machine hot. And of course, the next option is when you want it to end. So if you open at 6 a.m., I would probably set it at least 45 minutes to an hour before that so the machine can reach full temperature and it's ready to make coffee right when you open. The last few options in the menu have to do with maintenance and calibration. I'm not going to go into these in this video, but if you have any questions, of course, you can contact us. So now to demonstrate the Slayer EP, I'm going to make some drinks. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make two drinks at the same time using both the left and the right group. I'm going to make a double shot of espresso here, and on the right group, I'm going to make an Americano. So the first thing I'm going to do is grind my coffee, and I'm using a Malconic E80 grind by weight, which is a truly phenomenal grinder. It's super fast, super clean, and it grinds by weight. Really one of my favorite grinders. It probably is my favorite grinder that's available right now. And I'll put this in here, and I'm going to line up my cups, begin extracting, and while it's extracting, I'm just going to add my hot water from my Americano, and then grind and dose. And now just add the espresso to my Americano. My espressos are finished. They took 28.6 seconds. And on the right group, The right group took 31.6 seconds, and the reason for the difference is actually for two reasons. First, the right group was set with a pre-wet function, so it had a 3-second pre-infusion and a 4-second hold. And the second is the temperature on the right group is a little bit different, set at 200 degrees as opposed to 196.5, which of course will affect the extraction as well. But you can see I made 3 drinks which are ready to serve very quickly and very easily. Now let me show you the namesake of the steam, and that's of course it's steaming power, so I'm going to make a milk-based drink. I'm going to split my shots. I'm going to do 2 lattes at once using these lovely Kruve latte bowls, and I'll begin extracting. Just purge any excess water inside the wand. I like to do that every time. And begin steaming. And of course this is a commercial machine, so it moves the milk super fast. 1.4 bars of pressure is a lot. You can really do amazing milk. Stop it there, wipe my wand. Purge, and then just add my milk. One. And 2. 2 lattes that are ready to drink. Very fast, very easy to do. Slayer machines are hand-built in Seattle, Washington in the United States. Slayer's developed a reputation for building really very cool machines. The machines look fantastic. They have an aggressive profile that really was pioneered by Slayer, and it's been imitated quite a bit over the last couple of years by other manufacturers. The Steam EP that's in front of me here has a matte black finish, but this model is also available in a anodized aluminum, or if you want another color, you can contact us. We do lots of customization work. We've customized tons of Slayers. This machine works great for any cafe that wants a reliable machine that's capable of producing quite high volume. You can run the Slayer EP all day, every day, and you don't have to worry. It's easily serviceable, and it's a really well-made product. If you have any questions about the Slayer EP, the Malconic E80 grind by weight, or any one of our products, please feel free to reach out to idrinkcoffee.com. We're here to help. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this about espresso machines, coffee grinders, and everything to do with coffee. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.